Hey guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to my channel, Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very, very much. It's super dark in here because we're still having like rain and clouds and thunder, all of that in here. So hopefully I have enough light. It looks kind of dark to me through the camera, but just bear with me. For those of you that are new, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you're notified when I put up a new video. There's new content daily. Also, I do live events throughout the week and on Sundays, so you'll get notified when that happens. If you want to support me or book a private reading, you can always go to my Facebook business page and hit the like button and the follow button there. You can message me any questions you may have. Private readings are payable via PayPal and pretty easy to book and easy to do. They're done live over the phone via Facebook Messenger, either through video or a call. What else? You can follow my Instagram at Engelgeist333 if you'd like. And just basically watch my videos. Comment, like them, share them, ask any questions. So this is a general reading for the collective, for the highest good of the collective, so hopefully this applies to you. It is a timeless message because it's for the highest good, and it's for the collective, so when it comes across is when you're supposed to see it, is kind of the intention behind it. Therefore, if you're not watching this on the day that's labeled on the outside, it doesn't mean you have to turn off the video. It might mean that it's time for you to hear this message. You can also play my old videos and play like, reading roulette if you'd like. And pick a date and see what the message was for that date and see if it applies or if it fits. So today, though, while building on the energy of the week, is we are at Wednesday, July 8th. So this week, with the Sunday reading, we had, this will be in the upper, I believe, left-hand corner of the screen when this video stops, if you haven't watched it. We had that midweek energy of the Mother of Wands, which is basically the Queen of Wands. This Queen of Wands in this deck appears a little bit more on the protective side, a little bit more defensive than other Queen of Wands that I've dealt with in other decks. But I like that. And we are having this sort of pattern of Wands, Pentacles energy going back and forth. And it's funny because we've just come through a lunar eclipse in the sign of Capricorn, which is the devil, which gives you fire. And Capricorn is an earth sign. So there is this weird mix of fire earth energy happening. But let's see what's going on here with this. Let's build upon this and see. Oh, get it. This is an interesting card. This is the High Priestess. I love that this is a tiger. I've never really seen the High Priestess as in the form of a cat. I'm so used to seeing large cats on strength cards. But to me, the High Priestess is all about sort of psychic awareness, being connected, secrets. Sometimes she can be very secretive. It's sort of about like having our own internal knowledge, our own internal awareness, our own sort of connection to our own higher self or to our guides, to our gods, to our angels, whatever we want to call it. It's our own sort of spiritual connection, and that spiritual connection being extremely strong. The High Priestess is never at one to sort of put you on blast or well, I don't want to say that because I feel like there's a strength with the High Priestess and she can get a lot accomplished. But what I mean to say is that the High Priestess doesn't necessarily need to brag about her ability, or she doesn't necessarily put herself fully out there. That's sort of that secretiveness. She would be the chick that would belong to the secret society, right? She would be the one that's doing like sort of the weird moon rituals in her bedroom and not telling anybody about it, yet receiving the benefits of it. Oh, weird, when I said that I heard thunder. That's a little affirmation from the universe, I believe. I believe the High Priestess is associated with this sign of Pisces. I'm not 100% sure. She certainly is very psychically aware. I like this crystal ball in front of the tiger here, and we have this moon, which definitely represents the intuition, which the High Priestess is fully in communication with. The High Priestess being our lead card today, or at this midweek, I feel like this is that sort of feminine energy that also dovetails in on that Queen of Wands energy. So it's I would say, a highly, and Wands being the element of fire and spirit also. And then High Priestess being this sort of kind of very connected to spirit, or psychic energy. This Wednesday would be a high, or good time to connect inward, right? Connect to your higher self, meditate, talk to your guides, do some manifestation work. We're still in the I don't want to say aftermath because that sounds negative, but we're still in the sort of the after effects of that lunar eclipse and full moon in Capricorn, which is all about sort of manifestation. So right now, if we're clocking and using this High Priestess energy, she's very psychically aware, she's very strong, she's very empowered, she's at ease with her strengths, right? So I think that what she's saying to us is to own that connection for ourselves, to cultivate that connection, to strengthen that connection today, to utilize that connection, to see through that lens, right? How can we best utilize that connection to get that sort of sense of peace that we want in the world, in our own world, in our immediate world? Because if we produce peace for ourselves within our own immediate world, we sort of, that ripples out into, you know, our environment, touches those around us. Hopefully it aids and it enables them to find their own peace, right? But we have to have a clear dialogue with ourselves and be listening. And I think that the High Priestess definitely has that, right? Sometimes the High Priestess can signify like sort of shutting out the outside world and going inward and listening more to the inside world. What's going on inside of us, how we're feeling, what we're sensing. It's that sort of an energy. And when we have that Queen of Wands underneath it, her being so sort of driven, action-oriented, there was definitely that bed of eggs that she was protecting. There's something that I feel like eggs always represent the idea of rebirth or newness, opportunities, that sort of thing. Delicate new paths that we're maybe wanting to explore. So the strength of this High Priestess is representing as this tiger, and then the defensiveness of that Mother of Wands in that snake says to me that we very well might be working on some stuff that's rather important to us. If we stop and connect to it and become aware of it. Those of you that maybe aren't, you're saying, oh, fuck you, I'm sitting in my house doing nothing. What are you talking about? You should be doing something on a deeper level within yourself then. That's what this High Priestess is telling me. And if you're not, then you might be wasting time waiting for things to change when what needs to change is maybe within us, each individually. Okay, so let's see what animal we have to add to this. What else do we need to know? Okay, wow. Alright, so this is the element of fire also, I believe, because he's holding this flame in his trunk. Do you see that? It's elephant. And I love elephants. Look at his third eye is lit up. Alright, so I think that these are two extremely strong cards today. Elephant is also, I want to say, a very peaceful animal, right? But one of the biggest mammals, or at least land mammals. I think it is the biggest land mammal, right? Whales would be the biggest all-around mammal on the planet, I believe. Elephants would be the biggest walking land mammal. Okay, I'm not exactly sure why they associated this elephant with fire, but maybe it'll be an elephant story. But when I look at that fire being held in his trunk, I feel like that is sort of the desire, that is sort of the almost the spirit or the our soul, right, being kept right there. I feel like there's a connection between that and our intuition that we need to sort of access. I always think when I think of elephants, I think of that phrase, the elephant never forgets, right? We have a long and sort of maybe storied history. I see that with this broken tusk. There's been many a war that we have been through. But it's sort of time to like lay down our weapons in a way, right? There's a peace and a graceful, quiet strength between these two. Do you see it? Do you feel it? I feel it. This tiger, she's sort of like sitting there knowing who she is, what she's about, that she can protect herself if need be, but that she doesn't need to, right? She doesn't need to force her opinions on anybody, or she just needs to be at peace with herself and connect inward. The elephant also carries this light, to, in my mind, the flame of like sort of maybe our spirit or our soul with it, right? And he's also having this sort of discussion or this intuitive connection that's happening here. Elephants are extremely familial animals, and they're also highly protective, and they're dangerous too. They can be, even though they're usually gentle giants, right? There is this sort of, when I look at these two cards, there is that sort of feeling where it's like both of these cards feel gentle to me, but they also are very aware of their strength. They're honoring their strength. They're honoring kind of who they are in all aspects. Honoring where they're strong and where, you know, if they needed to, they could sort of take care of themselves in like a sort of defensive manner, but I don't feel like we need to be on the defense today. I feel like we need to be more open today. This feels like, it's funny, I feel like I want us to be open, yet inward. If that makes any sense at all, guys. Going inward and opening ourselves up to ourselves. Not fearing that we will be vulnerable if we do that. Not fearing what we're going to find. Remember, we have that devil energy at the end of the week, that Capricorn sort of hot-footed goat that we saw. And I believe Sunday was unicorn, was it not? Yeah, we had that magic of unicorn that was sort of following with us through this week, guys. There's a spiritual, magical sort of connection that's happening this week for those of us that want to seek it. For those of us that want to connect to it. And today's a really, really good day with these two cards to do that. I'm just going to say that. And remember that that sort of animal card, unicorn, that spirit animal that is sort of tracking with us through the week, that looked like it was having a sort of dance off with the Capricorn devil energy, is also with us through this time. And I feel like this is sort of, we have like, how do I want to say this, like the spiritual aspect, and the elephant also brings this sort of earthiness to it, that I think sort of grounds it. Again, I kind of feel like we've got like sort of, even though this is not necessarily a fire card per se, it feels like earth and, or you know what I'm saying, like that sort of earth fire, not earth fire, yeah, that earth fire combination. To me, that elephant being sort of the aspect of earth, even though in this deck it's representational of fire. I don't know if that makes any sense, but let me see what's going on with this. So this is an energy that you should ground in today, and this is perfect with elephant here. It's family. So I think that sometimes, you know, we have the family we're born into and then the family of one's choosing. I always say this with the family stone. We can choose whichever one we want to ground in. I think that there's a peace and a strength in both of these cards that allows us to sort of let go of any hang-ups we may have around our family, maybe the family of our birth. We can work on those relationships more intuitively and be a little bit more vulnerable to them, that we are protected and safe. We can trust our intuitions in interacting with them. We can allow the light of ourselves or our spirits to shine within them. Yesterday's stone was love. The stone that underpins all of this is peace. So those of you that are having struggles within the family or with your friends, now would be the time to maybe approach those struggles from a more intuitive place, from a place of higher awareness, from a place of strength. Allowing yourself to sort of heal those relationships, or allowing those, just acknowledging those relationships for what they are, and intuitively sort of allowing yourself to move through them sure-footed in a way. That's the elephant certainly, and the tiger really. Both of these are very confident animals, right? They don't feel any fear to me or any sort of meekness, but they're also not here to like sort of wreak havoc or prove anything, right? They're sort of like content and secure in who they are. So today would be a day to sort of find that security and attach to that in a sort of more deeper spiritual way, if that makes sense. Let's look at the definitions in the book really quick. Let me get to elephant. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, elephant will go second. We're doing high priestess. I get thrown by the animals on the major arcanas. Alright, so the high priestess is mystery and psychic wisdom. The high priestess sits in stillness. From there, she's able to access realms others pass by without noticing. The vast world of intuition, dreams, and mystery. She uses silence and non-action to harness this power. Sometimes this card appears to remind you to listen more closely to the voice within. Other times it's a sign to look past the obvious to find what's being kept secret or hidden within a given situation. Acknowledge the shadows. So that's interesting too. Secrets can come to light with the high priestess. I always think of the high priestess as her being secretive, but secrets can become aware if we're paying attention. And I also feel like she's definitely in tune with that that Son of Pentacles energy, right? That sort of slower Knight of Pentacles that we saw yesterday. But she's at a higher level, like a higher level of awareness, right? She's less vulnerable too when she's in this state. So keeping that in mind, there might be a secret that we learn or that we become aware of because we're at peace and we're sort of channeling that more focused, attentive energy. Now let's look at this elephant, and again this elephant would represent fire, which again we have that sort of, if the high priestess kind of connects to that Son of Pentacles, we still have this mix of fire and that slower earthy kind of energy that we were seeing. Let me see here, where is my fire, guys? Here we go, fire, 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 fire. Here we go. Elephant. Unstoppable, auspicious, auspicious, and wise. The elephant is arguably the most auspicious figure in the deck. Like Ganesh, the elephant represents immense wisdom as well as good fortune. There's wisdom in the high priestess too, guys. It is said that the great elephant is the destroyer of obstacles. So if this card appears when you feel stuck, rest assured the path will soon become clear. To add to the mystery, the elephant is also known to create obstacles in order to steer us in the right direction. Trust this gentle, noble creature. It illuminates the way with the light of self-knowledge. When in balance, it's one-pointed, focused, generous, and loving. When out of balance, it misunderstands fate. To bring into balance, it needs to trust. So, to me, I think that this elephant, I like that story too, about the idea of elephant sort of bringing us to where we need to be, either through creating obstacles or just guiding us. I think that this high priestess gives us the opportunity to connect to ourselves so that we don't have to build obstacles to steer ourselves in the right direction, right? That we have all of the wisdom, all of the power, all of the grace, all of the sort of noble, nobleness to sort of move forward today. And to, ground in that so that we can create better relationships with those around us, right? With whatever our family may be that our friends, be that our actual family, family of one's choosing or family of one's origin. But that when we bring this to those relationships too, or we ground this sort of desire for truth and awareness and all of that into these relationships, we bring about that peace that we see as the theme too for this week. So that is your forecast for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.